Hi everyone, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining me today on our regular Wednesday 5 p.m. Pacific Q&A discussing and taking your questions, general educational questions on U.S. immigration law. I'm an immigration lawyer in Los Angeles, California, but I help people from across the globe, in the world, in America. It's really easy to do that with this kind of practice, so happy to accept clients. If you feel like to, just email me at info@jqqlaw.com to schedule a consultation. And an additional note, I do have a no-cost ultimate marriage green card guide, a 41-page guide that breaks down the marriage and fiancé process, so you have that to strategize before you make the decision to go ahead with your case or to talk with an immigration attorney. To download that, just go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Again, that's www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just click on the like, subscribe button, and ring that bell so you get the notifications, because we have daily videos. Every day there's a video that comes out. There's photos, images about the practice of immigration, like approval notices and what's going on. All this kind of information that can help you through the process. And I guess we're starting live. Thank you everyone for joining. Hi Daza. On Instagram, JQK Law Firm. On TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John. And then live on YouTube as well. And the recording, which you're going to watch probably a lot of you on YouTube, it's the JQK Law Firm YouTube page. I definitely recommend subscribing to that one. So with that, let's get it started. The president, seems like the current president's going to leave, a new one's going to come. But we getting, disastrous updates from USCIS and changes to their policy manual. Just today, Wednesday, November 18th, we got a notice that they have a policy manual, which is their training for their own officers to do, and they've gotten more and more strict. Every day they're adjusting it and getting new updates on how strict they're going to be. Things that they could have done in the past but they didn't focus on, they're really highlighting that they're going to focus on. One thing that was really bad is for citizenship cases. When you're a green card holder, you're not supposed to be living outside the United States. You're supposed to be a resident of the U.S. continuously. Now, there's times where someone might be outside the United States for more than 6 months, maybe for a year for some reason, but comes back and the officers at the airport say, you know what, it's okay to come back. They live here 5, 10 years, they eventually decide, continuously, and they eventually decide to file for citizenship. But USCIS today announced and made it clear that that absence of more than a year could be considered abandonment and cause you to lose your green card and be sent to immigration court, getting a notice to appear in NTA, to appear in immigration court for a judge, to lose your green card. So not only would you not become a citizen, you would potentially lose your green card as well if you go to court and you're not successful. This has been something that's very rarely been used, although they could have used in the past, but now they specifically highlighted this issue in today's policy manual update. So expect more of this coming if the administration is changing. They're going to be dumping all the stuff they have planned to do. There's other ones that they're putting out there about work permits for people that already have removal orders. They're updating their standards for adjustment of status, saying, it's discretionary, and at the end of the day, we're going to judge the totality of the circumstances. So really awful precedent and decision is coming. I don't know how easily the next administration can undo these kind of things. So we're in a horrible situation right now for those who are going through the immigration process. It's going to get worse before it gets better, and that's this unfortunate situation that we have right now. Daryl asks, good evening, sir. I received my application of I-485, that's the green card application, and my I-130, that's the petition for alien relative, back from immigration due to insufficient funds. I guess what exactly are the prices for I-485, I-130? Well, in this kind of case, this person has a family-based case, and they're applying based on the family relationship and applying for the green card at the same time. So I-130 petition for alien relative shows that your relationship with that person and the adjustment of status is form I-485. Really quick, Disastrous, what's my email address? It's info@jqqlaw.com. info@jq as in Queen K law.com. But going back to Daryl's question, so he has a petition to show the relationship is real. He has adjustment of status application. He filed those in, sent the wrong filing fees. Well, the filing fees vary depending on what kind of case you're submitting. So the I-130 fee right now, it could change tomorrow, is $535. And the adjustment of status fee varies depending on what the relationship is and such. But typically, if you're, for example, a marriage case, it's $1,225 right now again. So when we're sending a marriage green card case, for example, the filing fee is $1,760. Now USCIS does have a website. You type in USCIS fee calculator, you put in the type of case you have, and they'll break down how much the fees are. There's exceptions to this, depends on the age of the person. So I'm saying most cases are the numbers I said, but the proper thing to do is to check the form websites on USCIS and check the fee calculator, put that together to get the proper fee. These kind of mistakes happen, unfortunately, but hopefully you can fix it up and resend it, and you're not out of status in some way that's going to affect your case. Gashado asks, have my parents enter on a B2 and apply for adjustment of status? Well, when you enter on a B2 as a tourist visa, you're telling the U.S. government and the border inspector that you're coming into the United States for temporary purposes. But if you're lying and really coming in to file for adjustment of status, well, that's fraud or misrepresentation. I can't advise you to do fraud. Now, there's cases where people come in tourist visa, then they change their mind. I've had cases for people who came to visit the U.S. like in February, and then coronavirus happened and said, well, we don't want to go now. We don't want to get, coronavirus on the plane. And so because they changed their mind, then they decided to stay here. So that's possible, but consult with an attorney in private. Definitely don't do fraud. Don't misrepresent when you're coming in. That's not appropriate. All right, so on TikTok, is USCIS processing times accurate? They keep adding more months. So yeah, USCIS processing times are not accurate at all. And that's why all these questions people ask how long a case takes, there's no accuracy in this system. Now there's some, experience you have, you see things happen, but with the coronavirus shutdowns, with USCIS funding issues, with the lack of staffing at USCIS, with the Trump administration intentionally doing stuff that's hurting cases, it's really impossible to give these kind of timelines people are asking. So I agree, just wait, that's all you can do. Karzi asks, can you explain the new rule? It's included who applies for citizenship before that date. Well, there's a lot of new rules, but I think you may be talking about the change where they're going to ask more questions on the citizenship exam. They're going to ask questions that they typically do about U.S. history and civics and government and stuff. It used to be 100 questions you have that are samples you could practice from. They ask up to 10, and you have to get 6 out of 10 correct. For cases being filed on December 1st and on, those cases in their interviews are going to have 128 potential questions that could be asked. That you could practice, have to memorize and practice from. You'll be asked up to 20 questions, and you have to get 12 of those, or 60% of 20 correct. Now, this won't apply for people that are above the age of 65 and have been residents in the U.S. for like 20 years, had a green card 20 years. It's a small exception and small thing they have in there. There may be some other small ones. But overall, it's not that big a deal if you practice it. Some people have language issues, so it's difficult, but these are questions a lot of time is like, what color is the flag? Who's the president? It's not something to fear that much, but it's intentional. They're doing the kind of stuff under this administration to make things a little bit difficult. Love asks, I submitted my I-485 in New York 40 days ago before October 13th, but no receipt yet. Yeah, these I-485s are taking a while. I see cases taking a month. 40 days is a lot, but a month, I see that happening. It's a mess. So what happens is when you start a green card case or anything with the government, you mail them stuff with USCIS, and then they eventually cash a check, accept the forms, and then send you receipts. Usually these receipts come out for 2 or 3 weeks. Right now there's a lot of cases 4 or 5 weeks are passing and people still don't have the receipts. It's really distressing, especially if your status is ending and you have to have the case accepted. Because if they didn't accept it, it could have been lost, or they could have been issued and they're sending it back, which causes these delays. It's a really terrible situation. There's no good answers for it. You just wish they had more staff so they could process these much faster, but it's not the case right now. Will the public charge rule ever go away, user asks? No, the public charge rule itself has been here since the first immigration laws in the late 1800s. I don't think that's ever going to go away. How it's enforced may change. So how strict they're going to be on public charge. A public charge is about the government worrying that the foreign person can't afford to live in the United States and can't pay for their bills. So they're very stringent, and they only want people who have money, have education, speak English, have financial backers in the United States to be able to do that. Now, how strict they are on the terms of this, right now it's strictest as it's been in 100 years under Trump, but before that it wasn't too strict. So it's never going to go away, but it depends on how it's going to be enforced and what policies they have. So that's that. And with that, everyone, God bless, be safe, have a happy Thanksgiving. If I don't see you, or you don't see me next time, but I'll catch you later. Bye, everyone.